What's up, gamers? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the We Spawn We Wap. Hope you're all doing well. I'm Jake. This is Nick. Nick,
Hey.
Are you ready to?
Yeah.
A more relaxed style of breaking down some of the top stories this past weekend. We're ready to roll. Let's get into it. Something newer to this channel is talking a lot about Fortnite, Nick. We've talked a lot about other cheaters in other games, but certainly over the past 2 weeks for Fortnite, it's gotten out of hand. I don't want to talk about it too long because I've talked about it all week long so far. Pretty much. What's that?
Nothing. Nothing.
Speaking of Fortnite, a little voice crack there. Over the past couple of weeks, we actually broke down last week a handful of FNCS duos, or a couple of duos, a handful of players being banned for 60 days competitively. And then over the past week or so, it was really astonishing because we saw another handful of pro players. I think it was actually Assault, Unknown Army, Mongrel, Benji Fishy, all using their stream chat in some way to help them in game. And so there were plenty of people out there because combined, those guys have such a big audience defending these guys because they were being resourceful. They were using what they had at hand to help them in game. I think also another point to touch on was the fact that some people came to defend them because they might have done the same thing, but the chat said it first. And it's like, we don't know that part, right? We know that they did these things because they clearly identify in chat what was said, and then they go do it in game. And that's my issue, is kind of an outside source, outside of assistance that other players might not have. Give me your take on this.
Again, I don't see like how you can defend this. It's like you've got your chat there. Do they not have like regulations like,
no,
hey, like
no.
don't stream this at all?
And
like,
sorry
don't have...
if I poorly explained that, guys. We have plenty of videos on that, but no, there's no stream chat delay, and
nothing.
As Epic can't enforce it, or they haven't at least yet. They haven't enforced much.
They should.
I agree. And
that's
I think,
cheating. That's cheating. Like that's all I gotta say.
And there are plenty of people out there who somehow do not think it's cheating or breaking the rules. I think it does come down to Epic has to make a stance, but time and time again they fail to do so. Last week we had 4 pro cheaters. They actually got bans. It was clap. It was yes.
Yeah, good.
This week we have 4 Fortnite pro cheaters, and Epic Games just sits back and says, not this time.
Give me some time, man.
So we'll see what happens. We'll keep you all posted. I'm sure we'll keep on talking about Fortnite in the future. And much like Apex Legends, not the story of the actual topic here, but in the past we've seen games like Apex Legends struggle a lot with cheaters. We're talking a lot about cheating today. What the frick kind of face was that? We're talking about COD Warzone. The initial launch of this has been hype. Something we've actually covered a little bit here on the channel. Probably not too much in the future, depending on what angle it goes for esports, but 30 million plus players now, and now the talk around hackers and cheaters is at a breaking point. We saw this with Apex Legends. There was a breaking point competitively and casually where, especially when it came in, it didn't actually region lock China, had so many cheaters. Now we have Courage and Maven and COD pros and Nadeshot most recently raging on this. We have an anti-cheat update from Infinity Ward saying that they have a 24/7 security staff, and they also have, they're trying to make the process of in-game reporting better, but no established anti-cheat yet.
That is an issue.
Yes, and it has been before with plenty of games. I think some people are actually surprised that this game has been doing so well and that they rushed this game out without an established anti-cheat, and now we're seeing the final back end of these issues 3 weeks in come to play.
Yeah, we talked about it, like how is it, how is this little staff, they said it's staff, right?
Yeah.
They need a program, they need something to identify, like, because there's a lot of the cheaters use the same cheats. Like, you will find a lot of them on like the same website. A lot of people go to the same place to get those cheats. And I'm sure that they you can make a program that identifies those ones and can eliminate them. I'm sure like there's some that go under the radar, always.
Yeah.
But why not have a program? Why?
I think the main thing here, I understand what you're saying, especially when it comes to if you cheat in one game. There's a lot of cheaters out there who cheat in multiple games, probably use similar software programs to do so. And we've seen plenty of games try and combat that with their own version of anti-cheat. But I think the main thing here is that Warzone rushed out because they wanted to be at the perfect time, right? They wanted to come at the downfall of Fortnite to beat out Valorant, other updates as well. They pushed this game out, especially alongside Call of Duty Modern Warfare. It was perfectly timed, but the one thing they're perfectly missing is an anti-cheat. So you give and you get.
Yeah.
I understand it. I think now it comes down to how long do we wait? How long is too long? Will it kill itself off like Apex did with this many cheaters? At what point in time do people go, all right, pack your bags, there's just too many?
I think it's fine to make us wait a little bit, but when you're running tournaments that people are cheating, and that's like the real issue. Like people are making money off of it. And like, you know, I can deal with like playing a game of Warzone at home I get killed by a cheater. Oh, well, a little salty, but whatever. I'm
Yeah.
not losing money from it or anything. But in tournaments, come on.
Yeah, certainly by this summer, they got to have it figured out. Otherwise, both casual and competitive players, there's going to be a breaking point where they're like, all right, well, I'm kind of sick of this, and we'll see that audience tail off. Can they do it in time? Hopefully.
So, Jake, what are you laughing at, dude?
Oh, man, nothing.
So, okay, I've been covering a lot of Valorant on the channel.
Yeah, you have.
Yes, and I've been very thankful for that because that game is cool.
Oh,
But
you're part of the problem.
I'm part of
dude.
the problem. I'm part
You're
of the problem.
literally.
Okay. I got the hype for it. I've made it well aware to the viewers, I feel like. But have you been kind of keeping up with like how much positivity and what everyone's been saying about it? Because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
been a poop load. Of
Go
it.
to Twitter. Go to Twitter and just search Valorant, and you'll see. And go to top tweets.
Yeah.
You'll see all, especially over the past week or so.
All the pros, all the content creators are loving it, and because of that, a lot of people have been skeptical if that is actually them saying that, if it's not like Riot paying them to say those things, which is something we've seen in the past with a lot of other stuff, and you will always see stuff like that. But
EA loves to pay people
loves
to promote
to
their
pay
games.
people to
I
promote
think
games.
but especially timed, if you guys did miss it, Nick had a video on this as well. This past weekend was actually this closed early access beta kind of thing for a lot of streamers, pro players out there. And at the same time, this week, following the weekend, it seemed like within a couple of hours, every player was like, I played it this past weekend. Clips coming soon. Hype.
thing.
Love the game.
Yeah.
It was kind of the same format. So a conspiracy started where people were thinking that all these pros were paid, or all these players were paid to tweet around the same time, around the same format. I don't think we believe that to be true.
I don't think so.
There's been too many people to come out with sources and actually say I was not paid, or I've heard that people were not paid. And again, to risk that, because we all see the hashtag ad, you have to legally do that apparently. To risk that over this kind of thing, either way, even if they were paid, I don't really have too big of an issue with it.
I wouldn't.
I think the hype is just so strong right now to see this big of a variety of people take to Twitter and then have them not be paid. Could this game live up to it? I think we saw a bit of
They
a
have
Wayne.
set the bar very high.
Yes. I think we can all speak true here and say, I don't know if we've ever seen a game this hyped up before in our history. And so, coming this
Bold statement, but might be true.
because even
I
Fortnite grew kind of, and then it spiked. Fortnite was around
Yeah.
for a long time before it spiked. Same with Apex. Apex had a pretty good amount of hype. I think this beats out Apex Legends, and we'll see if we can live up to it.
I got my hopes high.
Yeah, you do. Someone I do respect for being outspoken. I've never understood the term outspoken because the people who are outspoken are the ones who speak the most, right? That's correct?
I think so. To
Pete?
speak very
There you-
out.
I'm sorry. I've always respected a guy like doublelift because, he says things that a lot of pro players won't. It's gotten him into trouble, especially this split. As we all know, he was apparently benched for a lack of motivation, which he did speak out on publicly. Ever since then, though, he's continued to actually speak up about some things. This past week, we covered a story where he came out on stream, and no one had really clipped this. We had a video on this where he just blatantly calls out his team for not having a leader. Everyone, no one's really taking the established leadership role. He wants to be the shot caller. He's not allowed to be it anymore. And then he ends his statements by calling the current liquid League of Legends roster a democracy. Everyone holding equal power. Of course, we come from a gaming community where most games out there, I do believe, most rosters, most squads, most teams have one set leader or in-game leader, whatever you want to call them. And so, what do you think about this? You're Team Liquid, and your most notable face comes out and says, we're a democracy, we have no leadership.
Definitely. I feel like that would kind of offend me a bit. I feel like, it's like, I don't know. I look at doublelift and I see him as kind of like one of the idols in League of Legends because of how long he's been around and just how like notorious he is as a person, I guess as an AD carry. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't see it as him like pooping on his team. I just see it as like he's kind of just pointing out a problem, and I feel like he might have done that simply because he wanted something to be done about it. And,
Yeah.
if he puts it out on the internet for everyone to see, it kind of like makes it highlighted, I guess.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to, like, I didn't take offense to it. I don't know how the team's going to take it. I don't think he meant it really ill will. And again, not really many outlets, I don't think, really covered it. So maybe we're still at a time where players can feel like they can say things on stream and a couple hundred or a couple thousand viewers are going to see it and not think much of it. I don't think he meant ill will, but I think it's kind of cool to see that he's okay with speaking and being very transparent about their problems. Then flip side, as an owner, or if I was the team's current shot caller, I'd be like, oh, okay, well that's something you may want to keep private. Either way, I enjoy the transparency. We obviously have seen them. I think they're missing playoffs now, so we'll see if they can actually fix those leadership issues that he talked about. So honestly, for the first time, I think ever, I'd feel okay having the argument that Fortnite is actually reaching its down point. You know, and I think a lot of people have said that over the past long time, and it's not really held to. But especially looking at declining viewership, we got Warzone out, the #1 most played battle royale currently, and Valorant right around the corner. And alongside that, a couple of our biggest stories over the past couple of weeks have been all of the players and even now pros leaving the game. The argument can certainly be made that this game is now on the downfall, which is crazy because over the past 2 years it's dominated everything. I mean, now we actually have top names out there. Courage, Dr. Lupo, the TSM boys, they started it. Now we have Nick Merckx possibly stepping away. We also have Cloaksy and Tom are 72 Hours. They possibly are leaving Fortnite behind. The biggest name to date so far has actually been Liquid Poach. He has now officially quit Fortnite competitively. So what do you think about this? Are we actually finally over that hump of what many people have been talking about for some time?
You know, yeah, I mean, I feel like we talked about this before. Like I thought we were kind of already like on that decline down, and we definitely were.
Noticeable.
But like this is a huge difference. I'm kind of like wondering like, because they're all doing it like the same time. Do you think that there's something that Epic did or like something that happened that kind of caused this reaction, or is it just like oh, my friend is leaving, doesn't want to play, and now he is leaving, and then I'm leaving because of that too?
I think it's the worst possible storm and the only situation that could have resulted in the fall off so fast. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone at Epic Games, no matter how poorly they treat the game, they do still flood the scene with so much money. I don't think they ever could have seen like, oh, one of the biggest games to ever be hyped up in Valorant, that's here. Warzone, it actually overtook us and people are enjoying it. I don't think a lot of people saw Warzone being this big for this long. And I think like it's hard after Blackout to see that Warzone was going to be this good.
Yeah.
And then of course the downfall of their overall viewership, competitive scene, especially the COVID virus outbreak, and now players actually picking up and leaving. I don't think anyone at Epic was actually scared of this. Could be wrong, obviously, but it's almost like a perfect storm to come and hit all at once. Yeah. And maybe that's what it took to actually have Epic Games wake up. We'll see if they can respond. I still think they're going to be a very lively battle royale. Will they continue with the esports side of things?
That's where things are going to die out, huh?
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing.
I wonder where that's going to end up in 6 months from now.
We will see what their big answer to this terrible storm is. Okay, thank you all for watching this week of the We Spawn We Web. Nick, thank you for being here during this. I saw a comment on our last one, and they were like, "Why are you guys not doing this from home?" We apologize. Okay, I see Nick once per week for 15 minutes. This is our version of social distancing. We hope you guys can bear with us during these hard times. Nick, you wanna say goodbye?
We miss each other, and I miss you guys too, and I miss this place.
We'll be back here same time every week for the We Spawn We Wap. Until next time, stay safe, social distance, trust nobody. Peace, gamers.